Hey guys, welcome to another episode of International Insiders. So we are in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and I have a very special guest today. This is for all of the digital nomads out there who would like to come to Malaysia and be able to work here. So our special guest is Dee. Dee, it's great to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background and what brought you to Malaysia?
Well, I worked as a digital nomad for like 5 or 7 years. So I worked online, doing content production, different events, different webinars. So yeah. And then one day it was too cold in my country. So I was like, okay, where to go next? It's too cold everywhere. So I was like, okay, Southeast Asia. And then just by accident, I looked at the map and I saw there is Malaysia. The tickets were cheap, so I was like, okay, let's try. At that time, I was traveling all around Southeast Asia. And, you know, when you travel from Vietnam to Malaysia, then from Indonesia to Malaysia again, you can see the difference.
Yes.
The level of life, comfort, how clean it is, so many parks, and all these things. So I started thinking, how do I stay here? Because you just like it. It's really nice in here, especially when you compare with other countries.
Yes.
So, yep. And then I decided, like, okay, let's try. Let's see what I can do here. And I was studying English here a little bit, so I passed IELTS test.
Yeah.
And then they opened this program, Digital Nomad. It's officially called this way.
What's the technical term? Digital Nomad Malaysia?
Yep. If you Google Digital Nomad Malaysia, you're gonna see it. But the website calls Rantau. So Rantau, like D-E, D-E or Rantau, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's like a professional visit bus, which basically anyone who works online can apply for. Of course, there are some criteria, and if you want, we can discuss them.
Absolutely. What are the criteria if someone wants to get that digital nomad? It's called a digital nomad visa?
In my passport, it says professional visit bus, Rantau Digital Nomad.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's basically just a digital nomad visa. Let's call it this way.
And how long does that allow you to stay in Malaysia where you don't have to go in and out?
So up to 12 months, and then you can renew. Right now, officially, you can renew it only once. So overall, you can stay 2 years.
Okay, so you get it, and that allows you to stay in Malaysia. You can then get bank accounts as well.
Well, the thing is that this program is new, so not everyone knows about it. Some banks don't know about it. You might have some troubles opening bank account, but I have close friends that open bank accounts in Malaysia with this visa.
Okay, and they're able to, with this visa, to get you a personal bank account.
Yes. So, for example, my boyfriend, he was rejected from major banks in Malaysia. He checked all of them, he was rejected.
Yeah.
But some of my other friends that live in the area where a lot of expats, maybe banks, they're used to foreigners, so that's why they opened a bank account for it.
It can be that way in Malaysia because I know my own experience. I've gone to different banks, and you go to a different branch, and some say yes, some say no.
Absolutely, one bank, different branch. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely, that's the thing.
So it allows you to stay, you said 3 to 12 months first, and then you can apply for another 12 months.
Absolutely.
And you can live here, work legally, work from home, I guess, as a digital nomad.
Yeah, very important. You are not allowed to work in Malaysia. I mean, there are different types of digital nomad when you apply. For example, if you can apply as a freelancer, so that means you have different clients, different projects you're working on. But you can also apply as a remote worker, meaning that you work in a company which is located abroad.
Yeah.
And then also you can be working for a company located in Malaysia, but it's also remote work. That's very important. So
okay, so you wouldn't be going into their office. You'd be doing all of this from home.
Yeah, because if you go to the office, you have to get work permit. That's like
something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and do you need to have a company that's hired you, or could this also be for entrepreneurs? They've got their own website, they're selling digital courses or doing affiliate marketing.
Yeah, the thing is that if you are a remote worker, it will be much easier because there's a company, they're responsible for you, they're gonna take care of all the documents and so on. So, and it's, you know, easier to confirm if you actually work for the company.
Yeah.
But if you are a freelancer or entrepreneur, then it might be, you know, you might need a bit more documentation. You might need a bit more documents to provide.
Yeah.
You might have a bit more questions from the authorities. So,
what are they going to want to see? Like, what are the minimum requirements to get this?
the first one is the income. It should be 25,000 per year. So, as I believe it's $2,000 or $2,500. You should check this out because I can't remember right now. 1,000 ringgit probably.
Yeah.
But we should check this too. You know.
Sure, yeah. So you guys, we'll put a link below where you can go and check out all these specifics.
Yeah.
But that's the monthly income you've got to prove.
Absolutely. So for that, you are going to prepare your bank statement, your salary slips, and so on. And if you're a freelancer or an entrepreneur, you have to provide contracts with your clients and just a yearly income statement, 3 months income statement. All of that will be required. And they will probably ask you to highlight the income that you received specifically from the clients you are putting there.
Yeah, so I guess the government wants to see that when you're living here, you've got a steady income and you're not going to run out of money.
Yeah, that's very important. So you have to provide all the documents. Plus, for me, I had to provide like agreements in English and in my mother tongue because I'm employed with another company not based in Malaysia.
Okay, so they had hired you, and now when you decided to apply, did you do all of this on your own? Did you apply by yourself for the digital nomad pass?
Yeah, right now they don't work officially, they don't work with any agencies and so on, so you just have to apply yourself. But the application is quite simple.
How long does it take to apply roughly? Like the whole process start to finish?
It depends what documents you already have. For example, for me, the first time it took me 1 month as I didn't have the letter of good conduct. I didn't have.
Is that like a police certificate? Like in Australia, we would go to the police and you'd get a police certificate.
Something like that. Like that you have never been in prison and that you don't have any open cases now.
Yeah.
And so on.
So like a criminal
record.
Yeah. So they want to see you don't have a criminal record. That's number one. I'm guessing you need passport and all of that as well.
Yeah, like the application has around like 8 or 9 sections where you put all the information. First is just general information about yourself, your address, your photo, your contact details, your family, maybe one person who, like in your home country, for example. Then the next one would be, I'm not sure I'm right in the order, but there will be education where you put like the degree of when you studied.
What if you don't have a degree? What if you only finished high school and never did university?
Well, for example, I have a diploma. I didn't go to university, so I just put it there. Plus, I added my certificates. For example, I had IELTS, I passed some marketing courses, I passed some other courses. So I put everything there in the education section. Then there is a big, very important section about experience because they only invite to this program professionals, people who have experience in UX, UI design, IT, software, and blockchain, and all that. You know, more
experience like you worked for a company and you've specialized in that.
Yeah, it's very important to prove that you are actually working online and you are qualified. So in experience and projects, you have to write down all the projects you work on, like with descriptions, what you did there, and so on, your achievements, and then also about your current project. And that one should be really big, like your job description, your responsibilities, your achievements, the contacts, of course, salary per year, and so on. And then they will contact your company or your clients because they want to confirm it. They will ask.
They will actually contact your clients. Wow.
Yeah, so they will definitely ask, like, they will attach the agreements. Like in my case, they approached my CEO and they asked, like, is the notary really working for you? Check this contract, like, is it real? So yeah, they will definitely check that.
So let's say you've got all those documents lined up and you go to their website, we'll put a link somewhere below. Start to finish, like would this take a few hours, do you think, to apply, or much longer?
I mean, it's gonna take you at least 6 weeks, but practice shows it takes 8 to 12 weeks because...
Oh, you mean to get an answer back from the government?
No, like to get an answer, it might take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but the whole application process might take you up to 3-4 months. Because, for example, for some people, it's gonna take 8 weeks because all documents ready and it's clear, no questions, great. But they might have questions. They might ask you, like, for example, for me this time, I applied for renewal and they asked me, like, can we see your portfolio? Can we see the analysis of your project?
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So I started writing down a report and all that, So
you upload all these documents, you've gone and got everything, and then you just have to wait until they get back to you. Okay, and when they reply and they say yes or no, do they just do that in an email, or what's it look like?
Usually it's all communication is an email.
Yeah. So when they tell you yes, what's that look like? Do they send you any like certificate you've got to print out and present at the airport when you fly into Malaysia, or what's it?
First, see it in the portal. In the portal, you can see the status of your application. If it's like returned, if there are any comments, or if it's approved. And then when it's approved, you get a letter. Your application has been approved. Go to the embassy, get your one-time entry visa, and you're good to go.
Go to the Malaysian embassy in your home country.
Yeah, or the embassy you chose. For example, for me, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go to Thailand, I'm gonna go to Bangkok. So yeah, I chose the embassy of Malaysia in Bangkok.
So you had already applied online.
And chose to receive my visa in...
Oh, so you pick where do you want the visa to be sent to, and you said, I want it to be sent to the Malaysian embassy in Thailand, in Bangkok. Okay, you go on to the Malaysian embassy, and then what? Do they give you a stamp on your passport, or?
Yeah, it's first a stamp, which you need to enter Malaysia with.
Yeah.
And then in the airport, they're gonna send you to a special counter. So you have to show that you have this stamp, you have the visa.
Okay.
So then, in the airport, they're gonna make another stamp for you saying, have to clear at immigration. So with this stamp, you go to immigration in Kuala Lumpur, in Putrajaya, and get your visa, finally.
So you got 2 stamps, and then you've got to go to the immigration department here in KL, and they give you, I guess it's a big one that goes on the full page of your passport.
The final visa, you receive it in NDEC office in Cyberjaya.
In Cyberjaya?
Yes.
Okay. And that you would get that within a few days of getting to
1 day, 2 days max.
Yeah.
For sometimes it takes like 4 hours. If you bring in the morning, after lunchtime, you might get it back.
So now you're allowed to stay up to 12 months here. You don't have to worry about in and out. And now I guess the next step is you can find a place to live. You can go and, can you now sign a lease for an apartment with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're like allowed to do anything you want.
What advice would you give to other people? Like if they're thinking about applying for this digital nomad pass, like have you heard of anyone who's applied for this and got rejected? And what were the reasons why they would get rejected?
So the most important is, I believe, to show that what you're doing at work. That's the most important, because I have a friend, I'm in marketing, she's in marketing too, but she was rejected. And I believe that's because she did not provide enough information. So it's better to explain everything, like every job you do, every project. You know, for me, I've never explained my job description this much as for this application. And that gives them confidence.
So just go above and beyond in the detail. Too much detail is better than not enough.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna help you. Plus the second thing is you have to check the letter of good conduct, the police report. How long it's gonna take you? How are you gonna get it? Because in my home country, I get it online. So we have a really good service where anyone can just go and apply, but it takes up to 4 weeks
Okay.
And then I have to translate it. It must be notary translated documents.
Ah, okay.
And there is one more thing, the notary verification. So for some documents, you need also extra verification of your documents. So you need to check, and you need to put it in your budget as well, because some documents might take $50 per translation, then notary verification, then another verification. So all of this together might add another $1,000 for you.
What is the cost to apply for this?
When you apply, you pay 1,060 ringgit.
1,060?
Yes, that is application fee.
Yep.
After that, when you got your approval, you're gonna pay security bond to DEC. It's like to make sure you're not doing anything bad here. So this security bond will be returned when you finish your application. That one is around 800 or 1,000 ringgit, something like that.
So they're going to hold that and give it back to you at the end of the 12 months or the 24 months?
Yes. When you go to the embassy, you have to pay for the stamp.
Okay, when you go to the embassy in your home country, the Malaysian embassy, they give you the big stamp in your passport.
So you have to pay a little bit, but it's not much. In my case, it was like 200 baht, Thai baht. So I don't know, it depends on the country, it depends on the embassy fees, but it's not much. And then the final one, you got to pay for the stamp in Malaysia. So
At the immigration?
Yes.
What do they charge?
I believe it's around $50 to $70. So I believe they charge 2 to 300 ringgit, Malaysian ringgit.
So if we add all of this up, the whole thing start to finish, it sounds like it would be below $1,000 US.
Yes, it is. Definitely.
Comfortably below $1,000 US.
But if you do it from scratch, then it depends on the country you're applying from, because in some countries it's really cheap and some it's super expensive. So,
got it.
And also it depends if you have dependents. You can bring your wife, you can bring your child under this visa.
Let's talk about that. So let's say someone wants to bring their family. What's the process? How does that work?
Same. You apply, you fill up your application, then you add a dependent and fill up the form for your wife or husband, and then do it the same for your child. And for them, you pay only, so application fee for each dependent is 500 ringgit.
So you would do that at the same time that you're applying for yourself, you're going to add all your dependents.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So, and the application is the same. As much information as you can, everything they ask. So about work experience, about projects and so on, plus the proof that this is your partner, this is your child. So this is like a birth certificate, marriage certificate, translated, verified, and so on.
Okay, so it would only be for a wife or a husband, not a girlfriend, boyfriend, anything like that, right?
It must be
your spouse, I guess. Okay. How was life adjusting to living in Kuala Lumpur? How did you find it compared to your home country?
Well, I think it's much more comfortable. I mean, for example, quality of apartments. You can choose a really good accommodation for an affordable price. So, I mean, I know some people rent an apartment for $500, some people rent it for $1,000, but that's not just any apartment. It's an apartment which you're gonna have a pool, you're gonna have gym, you're gonna have everything. There will be security. So, I believe that the level of life in Kuala Lumpur is much higher for the same money that I would pay for something over in my home country.
Yeah. So when you say $500 to $1,000 a month, you're talking about living somewhere downtown. Like right now, we're pretty close to. We're right in the middle of. We're in KLCC, not too far from the Petronas Towers. So if someone wanted to live around here, let's say they want to have like a 2-bedroom, nice apartment, not over the top, but they want to have access to the pool and the building, the gym. You're saying $1,000 would get you something fairly nice.
I think a bit more than that. Maybe $1,500. For that money, you definitely are getting something nice.
Yeah, and that's central. You don't really need a car if you live in the city center here, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a car yourself?
No, I don't.
No.
There are car sharing services, so I just have a car sharing in my phone. Whenever I want to drive, I just choose. Again, we're in the city center. There are tons of nice cars around, so just rent out any for an hour or a day.
Yeah, so they have Grab here, and I use it all the time myself. I've never had a car here, in the last almost 10 years. Getting to the airport, it's 45 minutes away, I think, and about an hour. It's cheap as well. I think it's like 60, 70 ringgit in Grab. So yeah, you really don't need a car if you live in the middle of the city, right?
There is metro, so you can use LRT, MRT, and the public transportation is also quite good.
Yeah. In the whole time I've been here, I've barely used the metro. Yeah, I still have to do that.
Just give it a try. There is one that I really like, the light green line. I don't really use it as a transportation, but whenever I have friends visiting, we always take this one because it goes through whole Kuala Lumpur and it's above the city. So it's like you're in metro, but you're enjoying this beautiful.
That's the one, you see going over all the roads. Yeah. Okay. So if someone's wanting to move here, if they are a digital nomad, you would recommend this. It sounds like it's gone very well for you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound too difficult to get, really.
I mean, it's standard documents and low application fees. And to me, honestly, it sounds like amazing. Especially, for example, I was thinking of maybe in future going as a digital nomad to New Zealand or Australia, but wow, the salary requirements there are like real high, like
much higher.
Yeah, definitely, like maybe 4 or 5, even 10 times.
Yes.
And plus, there are deposits that you have to pay that are not 1,000 or 1,500 ringgit. No, it's like $200,000, for example, which is too much. So and here it's safe. It's very important for me that it is safe as a female, for example.
Yeah.
Because I lived in different countries, like in Middle East, in Russia, and I traveled all around Southeast Asia. And here I feel safe. Like when I go out alone, nobody would look at me. Nobody would tell me anything. So you feel like, okay, it's good. Nobody's staring. And
KL, I think, is a very safe city. You don't really hear about too much crime happening. At least I haven't.
Of course, it depends where you live. It depends on the area, but I mean, there are great places. So it's all like you can choose where to live. If you want to live in the area where you can walk, see a lot of dogs, people walking their dogs and so on, you can choose that. If you want to live in the area where a lot of tall buildings and business offices and all that, you can choose that. So you have a lot of choice here, and it's very affordable, and you don't have this limitation, I would say.
Speaking of being very affordable, so we talked about the rent. What do you think someone needs to spend per month on food if they're living here?
It depends how you live.
Yeah.
So I know that some people don't eat out at all. Some people eat out all the time and they never cook. So it depends. But I'd say I heard it from my friend who's been living here for 20 years that for a family of 2 and for a family of 4, it would be $5,000.
5,000 US dollars.
Yeah, for a family of 4. Yeah.
Electricity, rent, and all of that.
As I heard from my friend. But for me, it's hard to calculate because I can spend a lot for everything. So.
Me too. I'm always eating out, and it can start to add up. But compared to other countries in Asia, because you've been to a few others, you said Thailand. Where else have you been?
I've been to Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia.
Quite a few. How would you compare the cost here compared to those other countries in Asia?
I'd say more or less the same.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people brag about Vietnam being cheap because it's street food and so on. In Malaysia, there are tons of places where you can eat like that. So it's called mamak, right?
Yeah.
So anything you want. So for that, there is cheap food, there is expensive food, there are different dinings and so on. So I'd say more or less the same, but I wouldn't say that Malaysia is significantly has significantly higher prices for living costs. But like, it depends how you live. I have friends that live, like two of them live with $2,500 and they're okay. So, I mean, they have a nice apartment.
For everything, $2,500 US a month.
Yes. And they got a car when they came here. And they traveled around Malaysia. Maybe within 1 year, they would travel 3 times, eat out like once or 2 times a week, and have normal groceries like meat and everything. So this one is fine. I believe like the $2,500 a month for 2 people would be the minimum for a really comfortable life. But then the more you have, the more.
You can easily spend more, but definitely if you compare to Malaysia to say Singapore or Hong Kong, it's
definitely cheaper.
Way cheaper, especially with the rent. Okay, so let's say that someone's been listening to this and they think, okay, this sounds great. I want to do what you did, but they're a little bit hesitant about the application process. It sounds like a lot of documents. If they wanted to get in touch with you and get your help, your assistance, how would they reach out to you?
I have an Instagram, so you can just contact me with Instagram. It's d.kaisimova. I think we will leave the link in the description. So and I have one highlight about Digital Nomad Pass. So plus I've made a checklist with the documents and application process in case of anyone interested.
So you can share that checklist and...
I usually because I've got so many questions and it's the same, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a checklist and sell it for like, I don't know, $50 or $100. And then people were like asking me more, so I started doing consultations. But now I have too many projects, so I guess I'll just improve my checklist so it will be more useful, or make another video on this visa process. So maybe I should make a video about each step of the application, and that will help people.
I think it definitely would help people. It sounds relatively straightforward, but if you haven't done it before, I think having you've gone through it, that will help a lot.
Definitely. No worries. You can just text me about it and I'll be glad to help.
Now, one other question I want to ask you is about taxes. So if you are working here as a digital nomad and you're getting paid, I guess, from a company overseas, how does it work with the taxes here?
Well, it depends again where you're working from. For example, for me, when I applied, I work for a Russian company officially, and I pay my taxes in Russia. And Malaysia has a double taxation agreement with Russia. So that means that if I pay taxes there, I don't have to pay taxes here. And this is confirmed information. I went to the tax services here twice. Just to make sure, because if there is no double taxation agreement and I become a tax resident here after 60 days, I believe, in this case, I'd have to pay 30% tax or 24% tax, which is a lot. I mean, it's like at least $10,000 a year. So you have to check. But if your country has double taxation agreement and you're paying taxes in your home country, then it's good. You don't have to.
So that company that's hiring you overseas, what if they're paying you to an overseas bank account?
You're saying this. If you're not paying taxes anywhere, then let's say you're paying taxes in Malaysia. Then it depends on how long you're staying here and so on. But let's say you pay 24% tax, which is maybe a lot, maybe not. But all right, you're gonna pay that. The thing is that you can return this money. They have really good system here that you can claim your taxes. So even if you pay 24% tax or 30% tax, you can claim, I guess, most of it.
So all these things you're buying, keep receipts, and you're saying the income tax that you get from being a digital nomad, you could offset everything that you've been buying here against that tax? I mean, not everything. There is a policy, there are rules. What in each category, if you buy devices, you can claim up to this limit. Then if you travel, you can claim up to this limit and so on. But I mean, the most important is just to check with tax services in Malaysia, because MDAC is not authorized to give you. Where would they find a tax service in Malaysia who can tell them specifically what it is.
Just Google EHASIL, so EHASIL, I believe. So
Yeah.
that is, or just Google Tax Services Malaysia.
Yeah.
And then in my case, I applied online, I got my tax number, and then I just went to their office and I spent like an hour or 2 hours asking them everything, because I want to make sure that in the end of the year, I won't have to pay like $15,000, $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because here the taxes you pay it like in the end of the year if you're not doing it regular, right?
So you applied for your tax ID online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does everyone have to do that who gets the digital nomad visa?
I think yes, but you don't have to use it. So it's just, in my case, I showed them like, okay, this is my tax number in Malaysia. This is my tax number in Russia. I'm paying my taxes in Russia. What do I do? Is there double taxation or this and that? So I just went there. I asked all my questions, and they're super nice. So I go to tax division in Menara Olympia. So to ask all my questions, and
Okay.
So I recommend doing it to everyone who applies, because MDEC can't provide you information on that. They are not authorized agency. That's the official reply I got from them last time I was trying to get some information.
Yeah.
So it's better to go to tax services, explain what visa you're getting, where you pay your taxes, what is the job you're doing, and then they'll provide you all the information.
Yeah.
Plus they have really good examples, like, in their tax book or something, they have like, example B, John gets a salary in the US and he pays taxes there, but then he moves to the Malaysia. Then in this way, there will be this and that. So they have real good examples. They're gonna explain everything to you.
Okay. And if someone wanted to get in touch with that contact that you used, they could reach out to you and you can refer them?
Sure. But the thing is that it's when you try to call tax services, they will never reply. So you have to walk there.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're abroad, just try contacting them through email and so on.
Got it. Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Okay, so guys, if you want to get more information on your digital nomad pass and come to Malaysia, work for 1 to 2 years, stay here legally, you can reach out to Dee. I'll put her link somewhere below. She can help you get set up. She can help advise you on the whole application process. Maybe if you need some assistance with it. So I think you will help save a lot of time and just really make it clear.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do my best.
Yeah.
So thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thanks for everything. And guys, hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you in the next episode.
See you.